We'll get to our panel, Kerry, Chikarovski and Ben Oquist. Kerry, he's still got a bit of energy there and more popular probably than when he lost office in 2007, Mr Howard.
Oh, he is extraordinary. There is just no doubt about it. I mean, his energy in this campaign has been amazing. He's been out walking the streets with candidates. He's been to fundraisers. He's been addressing rallies. He's been unbelievable. And, you know, I would hate to guess how old he is, but I've got a pretty good idea. I just hope that I'm that energetic and that committed when I'm his age, because I know he is a Liberal through and through. It's in his bones. He can't help himself, but he loves doing it as well. And he's committed to making sure that Scott Morrison and the coalition get re-elected. And good on him.
Well, he can actually go to some of the seats that Scott Morrison hasn't gone to, Ben, which is interesting. Nonetheless, the polls have tightened, haven't they, Ben Oquist, in the last few days?
They have. I expect them to continue to tighten before election day, and it points to the possibility of a minority government. You'd have to say that's as likely as not guaranteed. Some people still think there can be a small Labor majority, but you're right, the Prime Minister's not going to a lot of seats, and that's why that dynamic of those teal seats, the seats he can't go to, makes him getting to majority the kind of least likely outcome at this point in the campaign. If you expect the teals to win 1, 2, 3, 4 seats, it means getting to 76 for the Prime Minister is almost impossible. And I think there are a lot of important dynamics in this campaign, but undoubtedly a big one of them has been the difficulty the coalition has had dealing with its left or progressive flank. And the rise of the teals is a kind of permanent cleavage that presents problems for the government on both climate and integrity. I think they've been a big feature of this election campaign that's kind of set separately to the main contest between the Prime Minister and Albo on things like cost of living and the economy and national security.
Kerry, we're seeing this unusual situation at the moment where both leaders seem to have a fair bit of confidence or mojo in the final stages of the campaign. Anthony Albanese put in a strong performance, probably his best of the campaign today at the Press Club.
Yeah, I would have called it workmanlike. I think he was actually much more comfortable in that environment where he had questions one at a time being asked of him, Kieran, rather than being, you know, in a press pack where they were throwing questions at him from all sides of the room. So I think, I think it was a workmanlike. I suppose something which I found about today was, and, you know, he's been very passionate along the lines. You know, he's always, when he does these set pieces, he's very passionate. I thought he was a little bit flat today, mainly because I suspect he's tired. I think, you know, it's been a very long campaign. And I think I said to you way back at the beginning that because it's such a long time, keeping the energy levels up would be a challenge for both of them. So a little bit flat, but I think he's probably cheered by the fact that he had pretty good reception from you and all your colleagues in the press club today.
Yeah, well, myself, I was in the studio, but the rest of the colleagues certainly in the room. But Kerry, what were your views on the numbers that Ben alluded to, the tightening of the polls? Are you feeling optimistic for your side of politics?
I'm feeling better than I was at the start of the week. Start of the week, I thought it was looking pretty doom and gloom. I think it's actually, I always knew it would tighten. I think it's taken a little longer than I thought it would to tighten. I think there would be a level of confidence about, you know, retaining seats at the moment. So the Labor Party have to win seats off us. And I think there's a level of confidence about which ones we can keep, including, I might say, some of the teal seats. I think that when it comes to the crunch, as Mr Howard has just said, I think people walking into that polling booth will be saying to themselves, if I vote teal, will I be getting Anthony Albanese? Because, you know, with the exception, I think only one teal candidate has said that she'd support a coalition government. So I think the others will be, you know, people will be shaking their heads about the others as to what they would do if it was a minority Labor Party government. So, look, you know, I think Ben's right. I think it may be a minority government. Keeping my fingers crossed, of course, that it's not, but it might be a minority government. But it'll be interesting to see whether it's the teals or perhaps the existing crossbench, you know, the Bob Katters of the world, who are going to actually control the numbers in the parliament.